Have you ever wondered of a support capable of clutch escapes? Or maybe a support that can 1v2 and still win? Or maybe even a support capable of building Thunderbelt? Yeah, that's MLBB's latest hero, Marcel, that brings so much more depth to the game with his unique forms of poke, sustain, and crowd control. In this video, we will show you the correct way to play Marcel that requires more micro and macro understanding than you might think. Without further ado, let's go. Okay, so now let's talk about Marcel's build. For your boots, you want to go for the roam boots and courage with the cooldown reduction boots, magic boots, because cooldown reduction is just so good for him because you can refresh your skills so much faster, and then courage just basically helps your team so much because you can see that it grants nearby allied heroes including yourself extra hybrid defense, right? So knowing that he scales so much with hybrid defense, you can literally just do so many things. You can provide so much utility with this, and hence you should go for encourage. Now up next is his core item, which is Thunderbelt. Now this item, it provides hybrid defense, but it's also just so good. It's so good in a way that you can trigger it with your passive, right? You trigger it with your passive without even attacking them. It just automatically detects the enemy, and it can rack up so fast because you can trigger it on multiple enemies at the same time. It's just such a great item for him, and synergizes so well with his kit that relies a lot on your hybrid defense. Now after that, all the slots are flexible depending on what you need, to be honest. All this can be changed out, but try and go for items with unique passives, such as you can see here. Antique Cuirass's passive gives them attack physical damage down by 6%. So instead of something like a Radiant Armor, Antique Cuirass seems to be better here because Radiant Armor just increases your magic defense, which you already have a lot of. You can still build it if you are going against something like a Chang'e, something like a Zhu Xin with a lot of poke. But I'm just saying that you should opt for items with more direct passives as well. Now after that, all these are flexible, and there's actually another build path that you can go for that I want to mention, which is going for Favor, because the shield that he grants does affect allies, so Favor technically still does work on him because it gives the healing and the shield. But if you go for Favor, do go for something like the Flask of the Oasis after your Thunderbelt to just support your shield support kits so much better and just provide so much healing to your team, right? So for your emblems, you want to go for support emblem for the healing effect, cooldown reduction, and movement speed. I don't really think he benefits from the healing effect. Oh, it does actually, because it gives the shield effect, right? So agility, you want to go for this because of the extra movement speed, tenacity because of the increased damage reduction at low HP, and concussive blast because just so much HP based damage. Yes, your HP is a low pool, but when you pair it out with your S1, you just get decent damage when you're in like a team fight, right? Now for Battle Spell, I think there's no other option. You have to go for Flicker. This is just to improve your mobility and help you disengage and engage faster. And with that out of the way, let's go on to the actual video. Okay, so we're getting straight into the gameplay here. And yes, this is gameplay for Marcel, the newest hero in MLBB. Now he has some very interesting mechanics, so let's try to showcase him in this match. Now, I know that they have a Fanny, and Fanny prefers to take blue buff, right? So immediately right off the bat, I just go towards the blue and tada, checking all the enemies right there. Now for Marcel, he's just really interesting because he has so many unique forms of skills that you can use that people may underestimate, right? You can see that here, although I'm very low, I still went in and I still managed to get out. So why this is so is because I try and utilize every part of his kit. I try and push his limits because I know the boundaries and limits that you can go to as a Marcel. Now you can see it later on in the video where I would dive in just to get some Thunderbelt stacks with the passive of the Marcel. But right here in the early game, you can see that we're just doing very nice poke damage because my Immobilize combined with my Frozen Moment Stasis passive is just really it just works really well together, right? Now here, I flickered because I thought he was still there. I think if we went a bit faster, we could have gotten him, but we just brushed that off and it doesn't really affect the game. Now the Fanny is getting a bit ahead of herself. So we just try and go towards her here. We get a good Frozen Moment on the Johnson. Now every attack you do on an enemy actually decreases their cooldown time for your passive, right? So here we get caught by the Fanny, but we try and immobilize her. I'm not really sure what she's doing over here. I think she wants to go for a Mateo. I think she does end up dying for it. Okay, she got a mega kill. All 4 kills towards the Fanny, guys. So this, as you can see, isn't a great start. Obviously, Fanny getting early lead isn't good. But we'll show you how you can easily come back from these early game snowballs, even before the first turtle, right? You can see that our lanes are doing relatively well, and by like what 2 minutes and 20 seconds we already have our level 3.5. We almost have our ultimate. If one more fight breaks out, we probably will have our ult back then. But you can see that I'm really using his kit to the fullest potential, right? Getting a double immobilize and then getting frozen moments off many of them as well. Now I always want to try and clock a few basic attacks in because, as I said, it does reduce the cooldown, allowing you to freeze more, and of course with Thunderbelt help you get those stacks faster. Another double freeze here into our immobilize and we easily kill the Johnson. Now, you can see that this hero is all about your skill timings, right? Here I cast my ultimate because I prevent the Chang'e from dishing out too much damage, and we go ahead and immobilize her as well. Now, your immobilize has to be timed really very well such that it doesn't stagger with your frozen moment, but rather come after, right? Here we get another good immobilize and we dash away. Now the immobilize is so useful because when you pair with your S2, when you dash away you actually leave your immobilize radius behind. Here I freeze him again and I run into him, frozen moment, double immobilize, hit him again. So you can see that skill timings with this hero is not just about your ultimate, right? Yes, your ultimate is very flashy, but if you want to be a good Marcel, these are the things you have to get used to, right? You see, I'm running in here, I'm just fearlessly running in with frozen moments, fearlessly running in with the immobilize. You can see Gushen just diving for the Chang'e right here. I go ahead, frozen moment, immobilize him again just to get him out of safety. Even with the Moskov here, right? I even take the guiding wind here. I go towards the Moskov, bam, immobilize again. I hear a few basic attacks because I know that frozen moment is almost back up. I run up to him, frozen moment, put him in the stasis, frozen moment on the Johnson, flicker out to safety. All these are very small micro details that you need to know how to master as a Marcel, right? His kit is actually more complicated than you might think. If you stagger your S1 as well as your frozen moments, well, you literally will not be able to die, like what I did just there, right? I was able to survive for like what, almost close to 2 minutes, solely based off number 1, of course the Matilda shield, and number 2, staggering my frozen moments. Here I freeze him again, but he dashes out into his own danger. Now, as a Marcel, we can just go back and forth, right? You have to master the back and forth. Like the moment you proc frozen moment, you have to run back a bit, and then the moment you can proc it again, you just run towards them if you know your limits, right? Now for Marcel, I would say that he works a bit like a Baksha passive if you know what Baksha passive does. In addition to the anti-heal, Baksha passive basically makes it such that okay, I was thinking when I outed there. But Baksha's passive is basically when you receive any damage, that damage is reduced, right? So for Marcel, I feel it's about the same because of his trait of not being able to get HP and all of that being converted to defense, right? He will be very tanky. So poke damage dealers such as the Chang'e will be less effective because each shot does like very little damage, right? Whereas against burst heroes, he's more effective. Okay, here we cast a very nice ult to get ourselves and the team out because we see that the Fanny is flying in, we see that the Chang'e is firing, so we just block everything that's coming our way. Now you can see that rotations also very matter because as a Marcel, you want to farm up those Thunderbelt stacks fast, you want to get to the Thunderbelt fast, and you can see here we already have 7 stacks of Thunderbelt like what, 6 minutes into the game. So it's a very healthy lead, guys. And for Marcel, you can proc it so easily, right? You see here I proc another one. I'm at 9 stacks already, and then I proc up to 10 stacks, okay? Within like 20 seconds there, I proc like 4 stacks on all of them, frozen moment, proc all of it again, immobilize, and then I just wait for my team to finish. Now, a good pointer if you are confused as to why their Marcel out doesn't affect me. Marcel outs don't affect each other, and this also applies for Valentina's, right? If you are Valentina and you copy the Marcel out, you will not be able to freeze their Marcel, and their Marcel will not be able to freeze you. Now here we have our ult again, and we're just running in. You can see that we're just like poking between, like we are sharing between all of them, right? We are going back and forth between all the enemies to continuously proc our Thunderbelt, to continuously proc our passive. Here I see that everyone's in danger, so I just cast my ult over here to prevent the Moskov from doing anything else. You can see that I'm still running towards him, I'm not afraid over here. And although we are low, I know that we have like 14 Thunderbelt stacks. I just continue running towards him. I even run towards him here, I pop the S2, run close to Johnson, and I dash out, okay? This is the thing that you need to master as a Marcel, okay? That kind of interactions. Those interactions are the most crucial because when you run towards them, you don't have to be afraid, right? You run towards them, you can easily proc your passive, and then that triggers your Thunderbelt stack. And then you proc S1 and S2 beforehand, so that when you dash out, you can leave the S1 behind, and it just immobilizes everyone that tries to get you. It is so effective, and it's such a crucial interaction. You can see that we just go ahead and flicker towards everyone. We know that they can't kill us, guys. As a Marcel, you have to be confident of your ability, right? I'm already racking up 21 Thunderbelt stacks in like 8 minutes in, okay? It's actually insane, okay? This is the playstyle you have to play Marcel if you wish to be good at him, okay? You have to be fearless in your Thunderbelt stacks and see that here we froze him with a frozen moment, then we freeze him with the ult again, and then we just get away to safety, right? Even if there's a chunk coming after me, I just keep freezing them and freezing them and freezing them. I think we do end up going down here. Oh, we actually hit immobilize. You see, we are not afraid, guys. We are not afraid, okay? Even when our health is low, even when the Fanny is after us, we do die. But in the end, at the end of the day, the lesson that I'm trying to bring across is that you can't be afraid when you're using Marcel, right? You have to be confident in your hybrid defense, you have to be confident in your passive, and you have to be confident that you can live. My death alone led to a wipeout because they expended so much resources on me just trying to take me down, right? And remember, every time a passive procs, it not only freezes the enemy or puts them in stasis, it also grants you and allied heroes a shield. So when paired with something like a Matilda, right? Although I'm the roamer here, she's in fact the mid lane, but or at least I think she's the mid lane. I'm not sure actually. But you just have so much sustain, and like that's Marcel's beauty, right? Here I throw a like ridiculous out here because I saw the Johnson's trajectory and I thought he would come for me, so I tried to predict it. But at the end of the day, you can see that actually it also freezes turrets, right? So it freezes turrets and like you can just be so fearless with him. Look at this, by the way, this is ridiculous. I can 1v1 the Moskov right here. Look at my damage, okay? My damage is not low, okay? Against these heroes that doesn't have burst damage, my damage is actually high, okay? Marcel can match one-on-one damage against heroes that don't have burst damage, okay? Because your damage from your S1 actually scales off your defense. So the more defense stats you have, you see here we are already at 30 Thunderbelt stacks. The more defense you have, the easier it is for you to do things like this. I can seriously just dive in between two of his towers and he can't do anything, right? Look, another stun by Selena. Oh my god. And I'm basically not even half my HP down, right? Marcel's hybrid defense scaling, I feel, needs to be nerfed a bit. But that's also how you can counter him, right? You basically prevent him from getting early snowballs into late game. You prevent him from getting those Thunderbelt passive procs, and you can basically just shut this guy down. If you don't, that's what happens, right? Your concussive blast, your S1, your passive, your basic attack, it just does so much damage to the enemy. And it's damage in a way that is like poke, right? It's like slow burn. It's like a slow gradual build up to the eventual damage you bring. You can see that I'm just running fearlessly here, hit them with a double immobilize, proc frozen moment over and over and over, and I know that I don't have to be afraid, right? Because I know that my hybrid defense is strong enough to handle this. I can even run up to the Chang'e, freeze her one more time for my Gushen to take her out, guys, okay? I mean, hybrid defense is a very core idea of his kit. His ult is a very core idea of his kit, right? But if you can see me in this game, I'm not playing for the ult for like a lot actually. I'm playing more for the rest of his kit, his passive especially. You need to know how to poke in and out and quickly rotate your joystick in and out. You have to gauge which fights you can take and which fights you can't take, and literally just go in, right? You don't have to be afraid of going in, right? Because you see, even here, I'm pretty sure I beat both these guys, by the way. 2-on-1, it doesn't matter because my Thunderbelt stack's already almost, it's already 40, And I don't have to be afraid because I know my sustain is there, my damage is still decent, and I can just fearlessly run up to them, hit them with CC, hit them with Stasis, hit them with my passive, and it's really just the beauty of this hero. Because I don't think any other hero is built like this, right? He's built in a way where his damage and HP is very deceiving. You think he's a support, you think that he's unable to self-sustain himself, you think that he's relatively easy to burst down. But when you factor the hybrid defense into this scenario, I think I'll show the hybrid defense later, you can see that's over the roof. My hybrid defense is so much that it's just unless I literally just run into them, which I do a few times later. But you can see that I'm literally unburstable. Here we out the Fanny because I thought she was gonna go back, and then she ended up doing that, so we ended up getting a kill on her. Now here I got a bit greedy and overconfident, so you guys have to be careful, okay? Here I did manage to hit Frozen Moment, but I wasn't able to flick out the turret shot in time. We still get a nice 3-for-1 trade, but I think my death could have been avoided. Now as a Marcel, yes, you want to be confident like I keep emphasizing in the video, but you also don't want to be overconfident, right? If not, those kind of stuff can happen. At the end of the day, I'm still a roamer, right? So most trades will be worth it because you see now they even have 4 kills in exchange for just one of my deaths. But as a Marcel, you really need to master these damage. Like you need to know how much damage you can receive, how much damage you can deal. You need to know whether you can get out in time. You need to know their skill timings. Do they have any CC that can mess up your combos? Do they have any skills to get out of your immobilize, get out of your frozen moments? All these micro interactions requires a very macro understanding of the game as well as the heroes itself, right? Because not knowing this and messing up your timings of your ult, messing up the timings of your passive is very, very detrimental, right? Here we just run in and yes, your ult does refresh your passive cooldown. Which means that once you proc your passive, when they are ulted, even like for example you ult the turret as well, right? You won't be afraid of diving in. So you can literally just dive in. You can literally just dive in and collect all your Thunderbelt stacks and do damage to them all over again. And like it's literally just free real estate, right? You can do it like so freely, okay? Here I run up to them, okay, it's a bit of a mistake. But I wanted to test something here, okay? 3 frozen moments. Okay, you all saw that, right? You saw that my Thunderbelt passive proc 3 times, okay? It increased by 3. I think it was 3. Why that's so is because when 3 enemies enter my radius at the same time and Frozen Moment captures all 3 of them. I think it was the Moskov, the Johnson and the Chang or something like that, right? It actually gives me 3 Thunderbelt stacks instead of 1, okay? So compared to your traditional Thunderbelt heroes like your Khalid, like your Badang, usually you're only able to poke 1 person with your basic attacks, right? Like for example, Khalid's enhanced basic attack or Badang's S1, you're only able to poke 1 person. But with Marcel, you can poke 3 or even 4 people at the same time and you get that amount of Thunderbelt stacks, okay? He's just so strong with this Thunderbelt item, but it's just so niche for him, right? It's literally, this item is built for Marcel, okay? I don't see you running a build without using Thunderbelt, okay? It's just so damn good. So damn good. But yeah, as you can see, another thing that I wanted to try is because I heard that if you leave Marcel's body on the floor, it can proc the passive as well, but I don't think we got to see that in my earlier death. So here you can see that although they have the damage dealers, okay, insane flicker out by us here. The Chang'e manages to get out in time, but the Moskov ends up dying. You see that Moskov's, not Moskov. Marcel's ult is not a free cast, right? You can't drag it to anywhere, you can't drag it on top of yourself to save yourself in a last ditch effort. It has to be dragged like a certain radius away from you. See, I don't even have to touch the Fanny. My passive automatically goes onto her. This guy is so broken if like you abuse this playstyle, okay? You have to use this specific playstyle to play this guy, okay? Insane poke potential. And if like you love just annoying the hell out of your enemies, okay, I don't know what that out by him was. He clearly doesn't know that he doesn't affect me if it's out. But if you abuse this player style, you just go so hard with this guy, right? Like, I won't say impossible to lose, but look at this, guys. Physical defense 297, magic defense 258. That is about 300 hybrid defense, okay? 300 hybrid defense, you will not even get on like a Hylos or like a Gadokacha, okay? This is insane amounts of value. We get another good stasis onto all of them here, proc all the stacks and just run out. Now, you have to be fearless of running into your out to collect the stacks, right? Okay? Because you have to know that they can't do damage to you and that you're safe, okay? You have that level of confidence, but in a way that is like strategic, right? You don't just run in without knowing what you're doing, right? You see here? We just run ahead and frozen moment everyone. We dash out, get triple immobilized and end up surviving. These are the kind of limits. I would say that's a bit of luck actually. But these are the kind of limits that you need to know on this character, right? Because once you do that, once you bait all their resources, you can see that the team can just easily, so easily just clean up after you and just end the game, right? Now, I'm pretty sure this is a GG, and I know I haven't had the most flashy outs in this game. I know that we didn't make some big brain play like the Gushen or like the Selena arrow with my ultimate, but I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do that, right? You see, freeze the turret over here, doesn't damage my lord. The things you can do on Marcel is incredible. It's unlimited. It's endless possibilities. But you need to know how to play this hero first. And this video is meant to teach you how to do that. Teach you the correct poking playstyle to get infinite Thunderbelt stacks in no time. And once you rack up that hybrid defense, will you be able to make those macro plays? Will you be able to outplay your enemy? And will you be able to change the course of the game? So that's it for the gameplay for this video, and now we'll move on to the outro. If you enjoyed that video, do remember to give a like and subscribe and comment down below what your favorite part of this video is. Remember that this is Jarek, and I'm not just teaching you what works in ML, I'm teaching you why it works. See you next time.